The National Assembly, or NA of Laos, convened its 7th ordinary session today, focusing on addressing the country's economic challenges and discussing measures to promote growth. The session will consider and approve the Prime Minister's summary report on the implementation of the National Socio-Economic Development Plan, the State Budget Plan, the Currency Plan for the first 6 months of this year, and the plan for the second half of this year. The 7th ordinary session of the National Assembly, or NA, was opened today, June 10th, under the chairmanship of the National Legislative Body President Saisompon Phomvihan. The opening ceremony for the 3-week meeting witnessed the presence of Party Secretary General and President Thonglun Sisulit, Prime Minister Sonsai Siphandorn, other party and government leaders, and members of the National Assembly.
เรียกร้องมายังตามมาตรฐานสมาชิกสภาแห่งชาติจนได้นำใส่สิทธิประชาธิปไตยเสริมขยายหัวคิดปฏิสังและเสริมสู่ความชอบการเมือง
Delivering his opening remarks, President of the National Assembly, Mr. Saisompon Phomvihan, said that the session will consider and approve the Prime Minister's summary report on the implementation of the National Socio-Economic Development Plan, the State Budget Plan, the Currency Plan for the first 6 months of this year, and the plan for the second half of this year. These plans are closely associated with the government's 2 national agendas aimed at resolving the country's economic and financial difficulties and tackling the growing drug trade.
รัฐบาลเห็นว่ายังมีข้อคงค้างที่จะต้องได้สืบต่อปรับปรุงแก้ไขอันที่
Prime Minister Sonsai Siphandorn reported on the implementation of the Socio-Economic Development Plan, Budget and Monetary Plan for the first half of the year. The session will consider and approve the Prime Minister's summary report on the implementation of the National Socio-Economic Development Plan, the State Budget Plan, the Currency Plan for the first 6 months of this year, and the plan for the second half of this year. These plans are closely associated with the government's 2 national agendas aimed at resolving the country's economic and financial difficulties and tackling the growing drug trade. The meeting will also consider the implementation of plans in the first 6 months of 2024 and the second half of the year as reported by the Ministry of Planning and Investment, the Ministry of Finance, and the Bank of the Lao People's Democratic Republic. National Assembly members will hear a report from the government on mining operations and plans for these in the future, as well as a report on the progress made towards rural development goals and poverty alleviation. The meeting will also consider and approve a report by the State Audit Organization on the amendments of audit results for the year 2022 and will consider and approve 13 new and amended laws. 2 of the laws concerning medicine, resources, and cooperatives have been recently drafted. National Assembly members will consider amendments to 11 laws, namely the Law on HIV Prevention and Control, Law on Investment Promotion, Law on Environmental Protection, Law on Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism, Law on Tourism, Law on Value-Added Tax, Law on Fire Prevention, Law on Corruption, Law on the National Assembly, Law on Provincial People's Councils, and the Law on the Election of Members of the National Assembly and Provincial People's Councils.
การพัฒนาของเขตสังคมถึงว่าได้มีความพยายามแต่บางด้าน
The meeting will consider and approve reports in relation to the proceedings of the 6th and 7th ordinary session of the National Assembly, the plan until the 8th ordinary session, and a report on the possible revision of the Lao Constitution. The session will also consider and approve 19 resolutions in relation to the government's report and the work of the State Audit Organization and the National Assembly.
ต่อเป็นสิ่งท้าทายโดยเฉพาะปัญหากัน
The National Assembly session scheduled to continue until July 2nd will also consider and approve 13 new and amended laws, demonstrating the government's commitment to addressing key legislative matters alongside economic challenges. Members of the public are invited to voice their concerns and contribute to the proceedings by calling telephone hotline number 156. Supakson Silapit, Lao National Television News Team reports.